Okay, just go ahead, Tom.
All right. Of all the items in the...
It was the Army surgeons that were donating to us. It was, they were actually... You can not see the probe in this case.
It's fascinating. Can be.
Oh, yeah. How did you decide to come up with the heart? I always told...
We do trace the history of American military medicine, but through the depth and the breadth of our 5 collections, we actually are much broader, and we have artifacts and specimens that come to us from around the world, as well as from the civilian area. Among the most popular artifacts of the museum are the Lincoln artifacts. This includes the bullet that killed President Lincoln, the probe that the Army Medical Museum surgeon used to locate the bullet during autopsy. When they finished, adhering to the tip of the probe were fragments from Lincoln's skull, which are in these 2 small containers, and a lock of Lincoln's hair. These are the only skull fragments that exist from President Lincoln, and the only hair with U.S. government chain of custody back to his head.
So these are some of our presidential remains. We have the remains of John Wilkes Booth here. This is his vertebrae and then the spinal cord. In both cases, you can see there's a probe and it's passing through the spinal cord. That's what the probe is showing you, the path of the bullet through this big foramina here, which you can see clearly that the probe is penetrating, which if you look at the spinal cord, again, you can see that the probe is clearly passing through the spinal cord. And then this is our shrunken head. So this is a real shrunken head. There were some that, of course, were produced for the kind of the tourist trade, but this is a real human head that has been shrunk. But what I think is interesting about the anatomical collections is that you can look at it through so many different lenses. But yes, we do have the skeleton of Ham, who was the first chimpanzee in space. It was safe for humans. You can tell that he actually had lived for quite a number of years after his in the space program because he was quite young. He was a young chimp, but he's got quite a bit of arthritis. He has bad periodontal disease, but nothing probably, I mean, typical what you would have expected for a chimpanzee who was in his advanced years.
We have nearly 25 million artifacts in our collections, which are the only collections that are designated an historic national landmark in a museum in Washington.
It's an unmarked building. Let's say it's sort of